I mean, I'm sure you could write a whole book about it, is screen time.
Celebrity neurobollocks. So this is a particularly good one because not only do we have really non-specific evidence, but also we have some invocation of random neurotransmitters, dopamine, obviously, but also acetylcholine. So that's a new one.
It is so much easier to hand our kids a screen because actually we do need time, and that's really important to acknowledge as well.
Okay, good start. I think we can be balanced.
I've even become more hardcore about it doing the research, actually. It scared me. It's really scared me because we know that neurons that fire together wire together, and so the opposite is true.
Okay, what does that even mean? So neurons that don't fire together don't wire together?
We've had even some of the tech giants have left and said, we know the damage that this is doing.
This is where we run into problems because we're not being specific enough. Yes, some people left big tech because they believed that algorithms were designed to addict people, primarily teenagers and adolescents, but that is not the same as saying that all screens are bad. It really depends on the content and the context, the age of the child, the type of child. It isn't helpful to just lump everything together. Using food as an example, if somebody came out and said, you know what, all this really highly processed food with lots of colorings and sugar and that's really bad and kids shouldn't be eating that 24 hours a day. Of course not. You can't just say that food is bad.
Now, I will get parents sometimes sending me videos of them taking away their child's screen and the meltdown that ensues and going, what do I do? And these are very young children sometimes. And I have to say, that is a sign that your child is properly addicted.
That is not a sign that your child is properly addicted. You can do that with your child with almost anything if you just take it away from them when they're in the middle of using it. They're gonna get upset. Yes, there's a specific thing with screens because they are likely to be more engaged than they would in other activities. But if you took a book from a child who was sitting there happily reading and you just took their book away, they're not going to be particularly happy with you. It does not mean that they are addicted. This does a great disservice to addiction. If they are unable to do their daily activities, if they're not eating properly, if they're not going and socializing with friends, if they're not wanting to go to school because they're on that screen, whatever it is, that is signs of addiction. Just taking something away from somebody and them getting upset about it doesn't mean they're addicted.
In the strictest sense, because the dopamine kick that we all get from looking at screens, you've just come in and gone, well, you haven't done your homework, I'm taking that away or whatever. And they literally experience a massive loss. And a chemical called acetylcholine, which actually makes us angry.
I honestly don't even know where to start. One of the main signs of neurobollocks is the use of neurotransmitters just so non-specifically like this. These neurotransmitters, dopamine and acetylcholine, have very widespread effects in the brain. And I don't think anybody would say that acetylcholine makes you angry. It's actually very important for attention and working memory, and actually it's something that is given to people when they have Alzheimer's disease for the purposes of improving their general cognition, not to make them angry.
So it's understanding that if you do that, we've given our kids screens. If you take them away, we've set up the addicts, and then now we're going to take your substance away.
There's absolutely no need to talk about screens and addiction as if it is some sort of substance. There are a lot of people who struggle with genuine substance abuse, and to infer that taking a screen away from a child who is using it is the same as taking a substance, a highly addictive substance, away from somebody who is addicted to it is the same. It's just plainly untrue. Again, the use of dopamine, the magnitude of dopamine release involved in truly addictive substances compared to screen use, which, by the way, our evidence comes primarily from animal models, it's not the same.
So we have to recognise how serious this is. Now, with younger children, I think that the answer for me has to be we've just got to remove them.
That's fine. Do that for your children, but understand, as you started the argument saying that a lot of people don't have this option, that they actually do need the screen time to, first of all, help educate their children in a lot of cases, and second of all, give them the time and space to be able to do other things. Maybe it's finishing work, maybe it's cooking dinner, maybe it's cleaning the house. But
We just have to remove them because we're setting ourselves up to fail when we get to our kids' age. To give a 5-year-old a screen and sit them on it, you've got to know that their brains are literally getting wired as you're watching them.
hang on, I thought we were talking about the opposite of fires together, wires together. In any case, your children's brains are getting wired when they're doing literally anything. That's how they're learning.
When we have our older children, I think we can start having conversations with our children. One, to let them know how addictive the algorithms are written and programmed to suck them in.
Yes, you should have those conversations because some of those algorithms are designed to be addictive, and we know that. But we need to have open conversations with our children and non-judgmental as well, because for a lot of children, this will be their main source of socialization. So we can't just make them feel bad about using it. We need to understand it from their perspective because they're going to have grown up with it.
And my husband is really good with the kids. He's like, your brain is going to get sucked. I mean, he says it in a kind of jovial way, but he's like, your brain is going to get sucked out.
But you do also have an incredible amount of information at your fingertips. And you do also have a way of connecting to people who might be different like you, who could provide a community and a huge sense of belonging.